It started on a Saturday morning. I was sipping coffee on my porch, enjoying the quiet hum of my ranch, when I heard the low rumble of an SUV. I looked up and sure enough, Karen, our neighborhood's self-proclaimed queen of the HOA, was blocking my driveway. Not parked near it. Not stopped for a moment. No, her SUV was angled across the entire entrance, like she was staging some kind of medieval siege. I walked over. "Karen, you're in my driveway. Move your car." She smirked through her rolled-down window. "This isn't just your driveway. It's shared access for the HOA." "No, it's not," I corrected calmly. "This driveway is on my deed. Private property. You're trespassing." She huffed. "Oh, please. Everyone knows this land used to be common access before your family built this eyesore of a ranch. We'll reclaim it soon enough. Consider this a warning." That was the moment I decided I'd had enough. If she wanted to block my driveway, fine. I'd make it very clear whose land it was, and do it in a way that she couldn't ignore. I made a few calls, pulled a few strings, and 3 weeks later, the delivery arrived. It rumbled down the street on a flatbed, painted in desert camouflage and fitted with working treads. A decommissioned tank. Neighbors gathered like kids at a parade as the crew rolled it off the flatbed and onto my driveway. Phones were out. Videos were recording. Karen stormed down the sidewalk, already red in the face. What is that?" she shrieked. I grinned. "That's my new driveway ornament. You can't park that here. It's against HOA rules." "Karen," I said, resting my hand on the cool steel, "the HOA doesn't govern my ranch, and as for legality, this is fully registered, insured, and completely street legal. It's not a weapon, just a very big vehicle." Her jaw worked, but no sound came out. The real fun came the following week. Karen, apparently determined to make an example, once again tried blocking my driveway, this time with her SUV parked just a few feet away from the tank. So, naturally, I parked the tank right behind her SUV. Not touching, not damaging, just close enough that she couldn't back out. When she came back, she lost it. "You can't do this. This is intimidation." I shrugged. "Nope, just parking in my own driveway. Exactly what you're doing. Funny how you don't like it when the shoe's on the other foot." It only got worse for her. The HOA board called an emergency meeting after receiving dozens of complaints. Not about me, but about her blocking driveways, harassing neighbors, and staging tantrums in public. Apparently, word about my tank solution spread fast online. A neighbor's teenager posted a video titled, "HOA Karen versus Rancher with a Tank," and it went viral. The comments were brutal. "Imagine trying to tow that. Karen picked the wrong driveway. Peak petty revenge. Respect." Karen hated the attention. She even tried calling the sheriff, demanding the tank be removed. The sheriff came by, chuckled, and said, "Ma'am, it's legally registered. Nothing I can do. Maybe stop blocking his driveway." Eventually, the HOA folded. They issued a formal letter stating that they had no jurisdiction over my ranch, and any further complaints from Karen would be considered harassment. Karen stopped blocking my driveway after that. But every time she drove past, she slowed down, staring daggers at the tank. And me? I'd just smile and give a little wave, because nothing says don't mess with my property quite like a legally parked tank. Last year, I had to spend 6 months overseas for work. Before leaving, I made sure everything was secured, fences repaired, and cattle tended to. I had a ranch hand checking in weekly. Everything was in order. But when I returned, I didn't recognize my own land. Where my fields once stretched, there were rows of cookie-cutter houses, sidewalks, streetlights, driveways, and bright banners that read, "Welcome to Oak Ridge Estates, Phase 2. 138 brand new homes, built directly on my property." I nearly ran my truck off the road. I stormed straight to the HOA clubhouse, where Karen, the president, was sipping iced tea like a queen on her throne. "You've got 10 seconds to explain why there are houses on my land," I growled. Karen smiled sweetly. "Oh, don't be so dramatic. The developer decided to expand, and your ranch land was perfect. Don't worry, You'll be compensated once the sales finalize. My blood boiled. You built on MY property without consent. That's trespass, fraud, and theft. Karen laughed. You weren't using it. Now families will enjoy it. You should be thanking us. I didn't yell. I didn't argue. I just walked out because I knew something she didn't. See, the developer who originally built their subdivision? I'd gone to school with the CEO. And while the HOA thought they were cozy with him, they forgot one important detail. Their contracts only covered the lots already sold. They had zero rights to expand without purchasing new land. And they hadn't purchased mine, which meant every one of those 138 houses was sitting illegally on my ranch. I called the CEO. Hey, you might want to check your records, I told him, because your company just built phase 2 on land I still own. There was silence on the other end of the line, followed by a panicked, "What?" I sent him the deed, the surveys, and the aerial photos. Within hours, his legal team descended on the HOA like a pack of wolves. Turns out, the HOA board had forged documents claiming they had development rights. The contractor never verified ownership, they just built. That single mistake triggered one of the biggest lawsuits in county history. The HOA was sued for fraud. The developer sued them for damages. Homebuyers sued them for selling illegal lots. And me? I sued for land theft. In the end, the HOA was completely bankrupted. Karen and her board were personally liable for millions. Their homes were seized, their assets drained, and their reputations destroyed. As for the 138 new houses, the county condemned them. Some were bulldozed, others sat empty, rotting shells of a failed scam. My ranch hand and I tore down the cheap sidewalks and fences, and I reclaimed my land. Today, when I drive past that part of my ranch, it's peaceful again, just wide, open fields. A few remnants of driveways poke through the grass like scars, reminders of what Karen and her HOA tried to steal. They thought they could take my land while I was away. Instead, they lost everything, while I gained one of the most ironclad property rights cases in county history. My ranch stood long before their HOA, and it'll still be here long after they're gone.